The legacy media are picking the side that you may assume. A Washington Post headline, more than 200 Palestinians killed in Israeli hostage raid in Gaza. The Associated Press, Gaza's health ministry, says 274 Palestinians were killed in Israeli raid that rescued 4 hostages, and it went on from there.
It is appearing to be a high civilian death toll. Would there have been a warning to those civilians for them to get out on time?
Oh, sure. Of course, we cannot anticipate Israel to be warning ahead of a raid to extract or to save hostages.
Did you factor in the loss of so many Palestinians in this operation?
I'd be very cautious at accepting any figures and numbers that Hamas are putting out. Every civilian life lost in this war is a tragedy.
And there's pushback and a pair of editorials, Israel's righteous rescue and blaming Israel for rescuing its people. Here's a quote from the Wall Street Journal. Hamas started the war with a massacre, took these hostages, hid them in crowded civilian areas. Then, when Israel came to free them, Hamas responded with heavy fire, including RPGs. Yet people are condemning Israel. It makes us wonder if the West has lost the moral discernment and instinct for self-preservation needed to defend itself in a world of killers. Hamas could not survive if not for its enablers around the world. In focus now, Wisconsin Republican Senator Ron Johnson, and he sits on the Homeland Security Committee. Senator, of course, we all have a heart for the people in every war, innocents being caught in the middle of it. But when you hear our reporters say some of the hostages were being held in civilian homes that had direct ties to Hamas, how on a battlefield in the world could you separate that out?
Well, good morning, Harrison. The reality is you can't. People have to understand and remember it was about 70% of Palestinians that voted to put Hamas in charge. It was Hamas that broke the ceasefire by brutally slaughtering 1,200 Israeli civilians. It is Hamas that took the hostages. It is Hamas that hides its weaponry, hides themselves amongst civilians, and now they hide the hostages as well. And listen, I'm sure there are innocent civilians, but they're probably complicit civilians as well. How do you separate it out? So again, I think this war, my guess is it could already be over were it not for the interference of the Biden administration trying to hold back Israel from completing what must be completed, which is the destruction of Hamas. And then they start moving forward in terms of, how is Gaza going to be governed? But the longer this draws out, the more people are going to get killed overall.
Trey Yingst was just reporting the politics of this for the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel, and that 2 cabinet members of the war cabinet, one in particular is being talked about today, have left because of leadership decisions. We don't know exactly why. You're there. You're in the know on the Hill. What's going on?
Well, again, I really don't want to engage in discussing Israeli politics. That would be up for the Israelis. What I do have a sense is that the vast majority of Israelis support the current government. They found what happened on October 7th abhorrent. They recognize that their very survival is at stake. The only people talking about genocide are the Palestinians, Hamas. It's not the Israelis. So again, you have to look at the reality situation. Israel has to do what has to be done, which is destroy Hamas so they can hopefully, at some point in time, live in peace. But it's the Palestinians that refuse to recognize Israel's right to exist. It's the Palestinians that, by and large, talk about genocide. From the river to the sea. That's what they're talking about. Yeah,
well, and desecrate the White House grounds. I mean, they have plenty of support right here on American soil as we put those pictures back up again. Senator, last week, President Biden suddenly decided to do what he called something about the border chaos 5 months before the election. And just last night, Fox obtained a memo from Customs and Border Patrol sent to agencies in the San Diego sector. It told them to release people from all but 6 countries in the Eastern Hemisphere. Release the illegal immigrants that they knew they didn't qualify for asylum, coming in between the checkpoints in many cases. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas defended the president's order.
The bipartisan deal was rejected once. We pressed for it again. It was rejected a second time, and then we developed this and have implemented it. We're at a very early stage. Our intent is to really change the risk calculus of individuals before they leave their countries of origin and incentivize them to use the lawful pathways that we have made available to them and keep them out of the hands of exploitative smugglers. It's early. The signs are positive.
What signs is he talking about? Because almost immediately the numbers of people crossing got bigger. Senator?
Right. I agree with what the Secretary is talking about. The fact of the matter is that bipartisan deal was rejected because it codified most of President Biden and the Democrats in Congress, their open border policy. It actually weakened a president's authority to secure the border. The real tragedy here is, had President Biden done nothing, just the successful programs that secure the border in place, we would be talking about an immigration bill, setting up a legal immigration system, taking care of the DACA kids. That was already on the table during the Trump administration, but unfortunately, President Biden won, and he wants an open border. He opened it up. He used the exact same presidential authority that Trump used to secure the border to open it back up. He's had the authority all along, and now all he's doing with his executive orders is political cover, and he's by and large codifying his open border policy.
But look, you said it twice on different topics. You said, had Biden done nothing, well, the Israel-Hamas war, you said, would probably be over at this point because Israel is continuing to do what it has to do and has always had to do since October 7th. And then you say, if he had done nothing on the border, which we know he's a professional at because he said he couldn't do anything, and then he did, and he made it worse. Your last word.
President Biden's administration, Democrat policies, the radical left's ideology is destroying this country. So those are overt actions they're taking that are harming America, weakening it, and making the world a more dangerous place. They need to be defeated. They need to be defeated in November.
Senator Ron Johnson, thank you so much for being in focus today. Good to see you.
Have a good day.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.